Hello, welcome to this Google Looker Studio dashboard tutorial. In this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to create this awesome dashboard in Google Looker Studio. Basically we're gonna be creating this dashboard from scratch. So let's get started. First, let's take a look at this dashboard. Basically, on top of this dashboard we have this title here, and also next to that title is our filter. Okay, this is the first part of this dashboard. After that, we also have those scorecards. As you can see, you will be able to create 8 scorecards, so each of them will present some value. Let's take a look. For example, we have total sales here, total profit, cost of sales, unit cost, and so on. That is second part of our dashboard. Let's proceed to next part. Next part basically contains one table and two charts. First table, as you can see, is related to product category. So basically we will be presenting profit for each of these categories that we have. Next to this table we have two stacked area charts. So the first one is presenting our profit for each of these regions. As you can see, North America, Asia and Europe. And basically we are able to see percentage of each of these regions in our total profit. So for example, in this case in February, North America has almost 60%, Asia almost 23% and Europe around 17%. So this is very important information for us. Also, if we take a look at this second chart, we will be able to see also profit analysis, and also we are looking at values for each month. But this time, instead of region, we are analyzing sales channel. So we have online, in-store, reseller, phone, and so on. So now that we covered this section here, we are able to proceed to the last one. Last section will contain also two charts, and we will have one table. So we will be able to see how to create donut chart and also stacked bar chart. And after we complete that, we will be able to create table. Okay, with that being said, let's proceed to next step. Next step is basically analyzing our data that we have. So let me go to this Google Sheets. And in Google Sheets, I have my data source that I will be using in this Google Looker Studio dashboard. This data source contains data related to orders. As you can see here, we also have order date and some other information related to those orders. For example, we have unit costs, price, quantity, sales, cost of sales, profit. Also, we have some information about promotions, products. Let me just see some other columns. Basically, product categories, subcategories, and also some information related to location. Basically, we will be using most of this in our dashboard. So now let's go back to Google Looker Studio and let's create this dashboard from scratch. To do that, I'm gonna go to Google Looker Studio homepage. I will be able to go there if I click on this button here. Let's click on that and I will be able to see this homepage. Basically, as you can see, I have a lot of different dashboards here, but this time I will be creating a new one. Let's click on this blank report button and then I will be able to choose my data source. So let's find this Google Sheets. Let's click on that. And let's find our data source. In this case it's sales, worksheet is data, we will leave this as it is and let's click on add. Click add to report. And now we are able to see our data imported successfully. Next, let me delete this table. We are not going to be using this table, so I'm going to remove that. And after that, what I need to modify first? First, I need to modify this canvas size and also that background. For background, I'm going to go to this theme and layout, click on that, and let's choose this default one. Let's choose this constellation, for example. If I click on that, I will be able to see black background, which is fine for me. Okay, now let's change that canvas size. Let's go to page. Current page settings, click on style, and for this one let's put, for example, 2000, and for this one let's put something like this. Okay, that's perfect. Now this is size that we will be using for this report. Okay, now let's insert our title. To do that, we're gonna go to this button here. Let's click on this text. Let's put that on our canvas and let's place it like this. And now I will be able to change those text properties. Basically, first I will change this font size. It will be, in this case, 60. This font style I will leave it as it is. I'm gonna make this bold, and I think that's pretty much it. Let me just change this font color. This should be great. And now let's start typing. Profit Analytics Dashboard. Okay, great. Let's resize this. I'm gonna place it here, for example. That should be perfect. After that, I'm gonna insert lines. So let's click on that line. Let's insert it like this. I'm gonna need also to resize this. Let me just do like that. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna change this line. For this thickness, I'm gonna put 4. It will be solid line. And let me change color. I'm gonna put for this one, let's try with that color. Okay, that's perfect. Now I'm gonna put this here, for example. And let's copy this line. I'm gonna paste it here. I just need to place it like this. Okay, that's great. And I'm gonna change color for this one. Let's click on this. I'm gonna be using this color. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna copy both of these lines one time, and I'm gonna place it, for example, here. I think this should be enough. And let's copy one more time. And I'm gonna place it, for example, here. I think this should be perfect. And now let's insert those scorecards. Let's click on chart. Let's find scorecards option and let's place it here. Okay, great. Now we have some random value here inside of this. I'm gonna need to change that. So if you check this metric box, instead of this record count, I'm gonna use sales. Let's put sales here. And we will be summing sales. So if I click on this edit button, I will be able to see that aggregation function is sum. So that is interesting for us. For name, I'm gonna leave that blank. So basically we will have this sales name. Now what I need to change next is style of this scorecard. So let's click on style. Let's click on this option compact numbers. Also let's click on labels. I'm gonna put it to be black. For this font size, I'm gonna put this 48, for example. Let's use some other font. Let's use this one, for example. Let me see what else I can change. I can change this alignment. Okay, that's perfect. Background and border. Let's use, for example, this one. I'm gonna also resize this. And let's resize one more time. Okay, that's great. Now I'm gonna need to put these lines lower. Okay, perfect. And let's check if it's aligned. Okay, now that's great. Now I can copy this. Now let me just put them on proper location. And that should be perfect. Okay, great. Now that we completed that, we need to provide different values for these cards. Instead of sales in this second one, in this metric box, we're gonna put, let's say, profit. And let's go to next one. For this one, let's use cost of sales, for example. Let's check for this one. This one will be unit cost. Great. Let's check this next one. For that one, we could use, for example, order quantity. This one will be number of orders. So instead of this sum, I'm going to use this count function. Basically, we'll be counting those. Let's go to next one. Next one will be, let's try, for example, country. And this way we'll be able to count different countries. And for this one, let's use city, for example. So from these two metrics, we are able to see number of countries that we have in our data set, basically number of different countries and also number of different cities. So first, let's modify those two scorecards. If I click on style, I'm going to turn off this compact numbers option and this will be better. Also, I'm going to do that for country and that's perfect. Now I'm going to need to rename those cards. For these two, I'm going to leave it as it is. Cost of sales is also fine. Unit cost is okay. This one is okay, and this one will be number of orders. Let's type like this. Number of orders, perfect. This one will be number of countries. Number of countries. And this one will be number of cities. Number of cities, that's excellent. And now as you can see, I will need to resize some of them. Let's first resize this one. This is better. And I'm gonna need to resize this one. Okay, that's much better. Now let's just do something like this. Let me check. Okay, perfect. Let's do the same for this one. And let's do the same for this one. Now I'm gonna select all of these and put them like this. Excellent. Now we completed this first section, those scorecards. We can now proceed to next one. As we mentioned before, next section will contain one table and two stacked area charts. So let's start with the table. To insert table, let's go to this add a chart option. Let's find table. It's this one here, but this time instead of normal table, I'm gonna be using this table with heat map. Let's click on that. I'm gonna place this here and we are able to see our table with heat map. Now I'm gonna need to change some values in this table. First, instead of this channel, I'm gonna put product category. So let's put product category here. And now we are able to see those product categories. Next, we will be changing style for this table. Let's go to style. Let's change font size for this table. Basically, this is only for header. So let's put, for example, this number 18. Color is fine. Let me just change this cell border color. Let's try with this one, for example. Also for table labels, instead of 12, let's put 16, for example. Now this is much better. And I'm gonna turn off these row numbers. We don't need to see those numbers in this table. Let's scroll down a bit. I'm gonna also turn off this option show pagination. We don't need to see that also. And let me check if we need to remove anything else. Basically, I think that's it. We also need just to change those colors. Instead of this blue color here, I'm gonna put, for example, this orange one. And this is much better. I'm gonna leave this as it is for now. Okay, now let's proceed to next chart. Let's click on this add a chart option, and this chart will be stacked area chart. Basically, we have those area charts here. Let's choose this 100% stacked area chart. That way we will be able to see total value as 100% and other values in percent of total. So let's see what I mean by that. If I place that here, for example, and resize that chart, we will be able to see some random values. We will be changing that, of course. So in this dimension, we will keep this order date, but instead of days, I will be using month. Let's click on month. And this already looks much better. What we can also change. We are gonna leave this profit here in this metric box, but we will be changing this breakdown dimension. Currently it's product category, so we are able to see total value and each of these product categories. For example, as you can see, in this month, I think it's October, we had profit from computers around 40% of total. That's valuable information, but this time I will be using some other dimension values. Instead of this product category, I'm gonna be using region. Let's find the region, let's place it here. And now we will be able to see each of these regions in this chart. Basically, this is interesting information for us, so let's keep this as it is. Let's see if we can change something here. Basically, I would like to change that background and border. Let's click on this. Let's click on style. I'm gonna scroll down a bit and find this section background and border. Let's put border to be transparent and also let's do the same for this. Now that we completed that, let's check our chart. Basically now it's fine. I'm gonna copy this chart and I'm gonna paste it here. Now I would like to change one more thing. Let me just remove those grid lines. So if I click on this tile, let me find grid lines. As you can see, this is grid section here and grid color, let's put transparent. Let's do the same for this one. Okay, transparent, and now it's much better. Now what we need to change for this chart here is this breakdown dimension. Instead of region, this time we will put, for example, product category. Let's put product category here, and now we are able to see profit for each product category in each month. Okay, now that we completed all these charts, we can insert titles for these charts. So to do that, let's go to this text box here. Let's click on that. Let's place this title here. And I'm gonna first change those text properties here. First, I'm gonna change this. Let's put that to be 24. I'm gonna leave this font as it is. I'm gonna make it bold. And now I can start typing. This will be product category. Product category. And let me just resize this. Excellent. Let's copy this one. Paste it here. Now let's change font size for this one. Instead of 24, let's put 16. Okay, that's perfect. Let me resize this one more time. I could place it like this. And instead of product category, let's type profit analysis. Let's click on this. And let's change this bold option. I'm gonna turn that off. And now we have title for this table. Now I'm gonna copy this. Paste it here, and now I'm gonna place it above this chart. Let's copy one more time, and let's place it here above this chart here. This one will be profit analysis. Monthly analysis. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna do the same for this one. Monthly analysis, and this one will be profit analysis. Okay, that's excellent. Now with those titles completed, we are done with this section here. So we can now proceed to next section. Next section will contain 2 charts and 1 table. So let's insert first chart. First, we will insert donor chart. To do that, let's go to this add a chart option. Let's find donor chart and let's place it here. Okay, now we have that donor chart. What we need to change first is this dimension section. Instead of product category, let's use product subcategory. And instead of sales, let's use profit. Great, now that we have those values, let's go to style and let's modify this chart. Instead of these dimension values, let's use this single color. And instead of blue, let's use this color. Okay, excellent. Let's now turn off this legend. If I click on that, I will be able to see only that chart. Let's place it here below. And now we have this chart completed. Let me just change one more thing. I'm gonna remove that background. Let's go to style. Let's find background and border section. And let's turn off this background and also same for the border. Okay, that's perfect. Next, we will insert stacked column chart. To do that, let's go to add a chart option and find stacked column chart here. I'm gonna place it like this. I could also resize this chart. Okay, great. And now we have some values in this chart. Instead of that, we will put some other values. So, in this dimension section, instead of this product subcategory, let's put order date. Order date, and let's find proper value for us. Let's click on this, date time, and let's use this year quarter. Okay, great. Now let's, for example, instead of this region, basically we can choose anything that we would like to see. For example, I could choose, for example, let's try with this product category. I'm gonna put that instead of region. So this will be our breakdown dimension, and now we are able to see profit for each of these quarters and also for each of these product categories. Okay, that's great. Now I'm gonna change colors for this chart. Let's go to style. I'm gonna leave this as it is. I'm gonna use dimension values, and let me try to click on this button here, and I will be able to change those colors. But as you can see, we have a lot of these colors, so I'm gonna change just few of them. Let's, for example, for this one, let's put something like this. Let's close this one, and now this should be fine. Also, let's remove that background. I'm gonna click on this chart. Let's go to style, scroll down, background and border, and I'm gonna turn off that. Let's do the same for background and border. That's perfect. And as you can see, we also have those grid lines. Let's click on this, style, scroll down, Let me just find them. Okay, grid section, and let's find this grid color and put that to be transparent. Okay, that's awesome. Now we have also that chart included, and now we need to add one more table. To do that, I can simply copy this table, because we have some formatting already applied on the table. I'm gonna place it here. Okay, let's place it here. I'm gonna resize this table. This should be fine. And now I'm gonna change first this column here. Instead of product category, as you can see in this dimension box, we will be using product subcategory. And also we will leave this sales in this table, but also we will add profit. And let's add, for example, unit cost. Okay, that's great. Now I would like to change those three columns. Instead of heat map, I would like to see bars. To do that, I'm gonna just simply change my table. Let's click on this, table with bars, and now we are able to see bars for each of these metrics. But what is important, I would like also next to these bars to see values. So let's go to style and let's see how can we add that. Let's find our values. This is first metric, and I'm gonna click on this show number. That way we will be able to see actually values next to these bars. Let's do the same for next one and for the last one. Okay, perfect. Now basically we could use compact numbers. Let's click on compact numbers. Let's click for this one and also for this one. So that way we will be able to have more space. Let me resize just this. And let's resize also this one. And now that's perfect. What we need to change also are those colors. So instead of this blue, let me choose, for example, green one. And for this one, let's instead of this pink, let's choose, for example, something like this. And this looks nice to me. Basically with this, we completed this table. And also what we need to include in this section is title for each of these charts and tables. Let's copy this one, for example. Okay, let's place it here. Let's copy one more time. That's perfect. Now I will need to change those titles. This one will be product subcategory. Okay, great. And this will be profit analysis. Profit analysis. And now we have those explanations completed also. Now this dashboard is almost done. We also need to include one filter. Basically this filter will allow us to filter this data by region. So let's do that. Let's go to this add control option. Let's find drop down list and let's place it here. Now we are able to filter by each of these days. Instead of that, I'm gonna provide a region. Let's put that region field in this control field. And now we will be able to see each of these regions. As you can see, we have this number next to those regions. I'm gonna remove that. So let's click on this and we will not be able to see that anymore. That's perfect. I'm gonna just resize this and I will need to add explanation box next to that one. I'm gonna be adding that here. Let's resize this and let's type . Let's click on this right alignment, and now with this completed, we are done with this dashboard. So let's just try to filter our data. If I choose something for Europe, for example, I will be able to see all these values only for Europe. As you can see here on this chart, we have only Europe. If I click on North America only, for example, we will be able to see only North America here, and also all these values are for North America. Okay, with that being said, we are done with this dashboard. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you have learned something new. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.